And I think this is very important what we're going to be going over right now, especially for you new customer service reps, because there are a series of things that go on that you need to do not just the day of, but the day before in your position. So what we did is we actually kind of went through and we spelled out each one of these things that you should be thinking about, you know, the day before and the day of when you're there, on top of like answering the phones and doing the 4-touch system and so on and so forth. But this is going to kind of wrap it all together for you. Owners that are in the room or CSRs that are here, you can probably look at it and say, I'm going to itemize the things that are most important, because you're not going to be able to really come out of the chute and do them all. But I'm going to itemize the things that are most important. And when we get those things down, then we're going to add on to it as we go on. 1 week goes by, we'll add one. 1 week goes by, we'll add one until we get everything down. But we don't want to just dump it on you, because then we want to make sure that you're doing every one of the steps correctly and understand why we're doing each one of these events, okay?
So think about this in terms of customer service too. All of these little things that we do, what's the customer see, what's the customer's perspective on it? Sometimes it's the hardest thing to convince a shop owner to put a CSR in. And it's almost like I would put a CSR in before I put a tech in, because it's that important in my business, because nothing happens till I get that car in the bay. So we're going to start with the day before. So there's a huge amount of stuff that happens that the customer service rep does. And a lot of times people think, you know, I don't need a customer service rep or anything like that. What type of, you know, sir, how are you going to get all of this done? How are you going to dump all of this on a service advisor? They just can't do it. I mean, they're going to drop, half of these things won't get done. And if you don't do them all, you're going to get about half the results. So that's why it's so very, very important.
And I would try to sit back, and as you're adding these things, you're putting like a time frame on when you're going to do them. Is that an action that you're going to take in the morning before the doors open up at 8? When are you going to do that? So you have to put a time frame on these things, and you have to follow that schedule each and every day. If you get to be too busy to where, you know, the shop's grown to the point where, listen, you can't handle some of these things, all right, well then who's going to handle them, and when are they going to be taken care of? It can't be something where we're just going to stop doing it, because that's what helps us get to where we're at.